What's your name?
My name is Hayyah. It's Hayyah. Some people think Hayyah or it's Hayyah. Hayyah. But yeah.
Okay, so where are you from?
I'm from a few different places. I was born in Malaysia, but then we eventually moved to California around the Bay Area. And I was living out there for a pretty good amount of years, and then we moved to Georgia, Athens, Georgia, and I've been living out there ever since. So a little bit half and half, I think.
How old are you?
I don't know. Sometimes I'm 27, sometimes I'm 53. Sometimes, you know, I don't know. I'm 19. I'll be 20 on March 8th of this year, so, you know.
Are you Muslim?
Yes, I am. I think that's something a lot of people don't know about me, just because I don't wear like my hijab. That's like the very basic. I think everyone knows that, so that's really not showcasing like my skills.
Some of your hobbies?
I don't know, I think I just literally do a little bit of everything. Like, I don't think you'll catch me doing something, just one thing for too long.
What's some things in life that bring you happiness?
Sleep. I love sleep. I know that's a bit simple, but I really do. I don't know, like, if I could sleep, I would get my sleep in, like, whenever I have the chance. Shopping, I do like to shop. I do like going and doing different activities. So whether it's doing stuff in Mother Nature or just going to different cool, like, adventurous spots, sort of just getting the thrill out of life. I think that's the type of stuff that brings me happiness. And just being creative. I think using my creative outlet, it definitely lets me express myself more and, you know, just let the world know who I am. So, yeah.
Okay, so piggybacking off of 2023, what are some of your goals for this year?
Some of my goals, I actually made a whole vision board. This is my first year ever really making like an in-depth, really just like a real, like, sitting down with myself and asking myself what did I want to see for the next year, and really trying to map that out, because I think it's different when you hold yourself accountable, because when you have it in writing, you know, it's easy to say stuff in your head like, oh, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, but when you kind of actually have a vision board that you're looking at almost every single day, it's just a good reminder of like, hey, you say you're gonna do this. But some things I want to do, just travel more, really just go to a lot of different places, whether it's somewhere far, somewhere close. It can be day trips, it can be weekend trips, it can be week-long trips. I just really love to travel, so I really do want to incorporate that more. Another one was starting my YouTube back up, because I think I posted a video like 3 years ago and I never posted anything else. So look at me, you know, I'm doing one thing on the vision board, so that's good. There's a lot more stuff. I don't want to say too much. Yeah, I think I got a lot of good things on my list, so hopefully they will. I'm gonna say not hopefully, they will be getting accomplished.
What are some things you're currently passionate about?
Something that I'm currently passionate about. Right now, I've definitely taken a higher interest in trying to tie the influencer world with also finance and money management, and how do we make our money, but what do we do with our money? And while I was in school, I was majoring in finance, and I always like to know, you know, how does money work, money language, what to do with money, because I feel like, especially in our Black community, you have a lot of people that get money. You know, you can think of somebody, whether, no matter what they're doing, you know, they could be like, I got a lot of money, but it's like, eventually, it gets all spent. It's like, we have a decent way of obtaining money, but I don't think we have a good structure on how to maintain it and keep it. So my thing, as I started entering, I guess, more in the influencer world, I don't like to consider myself an influencer, but it's kind of been handed to me a little bit. But I was like, how do we take people who are making money through social media, Instagram, TikTok, whether you're doing modeling, whether it's a hobby that you have, photography, videos, making clothes, no matter what you do, how can you make sure that you're setting yourself up and learning how to make a financial plan, whether it's just, you know, whatever your budget is for that month, but putting it in the right areas so you have money growing for you. Because I think a lot of people know about, you know, financial stuff. Like, you hear a lot of stuff like, you should invest in X, Y, Z. You know, it's like there's no middle ground. It's especially for a lot of our younger people. I think I just kind of want to be more of that outlet to help people transition into that easier, so we can already start that at a younger age. So that's what I kind of been taking more of like just a great interest in, and hopefully y'all will see it transpire more throughout 2023.
What's your dream job?
My dream, honestly, truthfully speaking, my dream job is no job. I kid you not. Like, that's my dream job, is not having a job. I don't want to have it as a job. Like, I want to be able to take my hobbies or my interests or my talents and turn that into a lifestyle. I think that's what I would rather do. I mean, if you're going to stop a title and call it a job, okay. I've always been that person. Like, I have an interest in so many different things. I think a lot of times that's often looked down upon, you know, especially transitioning from like high school to college. You always hear, okay, you got to pick one major, kind of stick to that major. After you graduate, you're going to go get a job, you know, work however, and climb this whole corporate ladder and stuff like that. But I've just always been a person, I may try something, I like it, I fulfill it, I'm good at it, then I'm like, okay, what else is there for me to learn? I'm always a person, I love gaining more knowledge, more experiences. So I think my job in the future will honestly just be doing a few different things. And I think a lot of people do that anyway nowadays. Like, you have so many different streams of income. You could have a main 9-to-5 job, but you're still doing other stuff on the side that pleases you. But I don't really have no specific job that I want. Besides working for life, doing my own thing. That's the job I want. It's just doing my own thing and living life. Yeah.
Okay. So how would you describe your personality?
I would describe it depends if you know me or if you don't know me. But I think on the base level, like everyone for the most part that I encounter, a lot of people tell me I have like a bubbly personality, outgoing, sweet, nice, even though a lot of people think, if you just look at my face alone or my Instagram, that's the problem, because a lot of people think I'm either rude or stuck up just because it's the photos. But anyone who has actually had a real life encounter with me usually says, you know, like just very outgoing, bubbly, could probably talk your ear off if I'm comfortable with you. I'm creative, I think that's what people would say. I think I'm a funny.
What's a great habit you have?
I used to drive 2 feet. I don't know more. Honestly, that's how I learned to drive. I just got in the car and I just drove myself around the neighborhood.
Speaking of cars, what's a bad travel experience you've had?
With a car? Oh, I've got in an accident. Plural. That's not a good thing.
I didn't say car.
I really don't have a good record with cars. I'm not a horrible driver. I'm really not. It's just I'm always in the wrong place, the wrong situation at the wrong time. That's what it always is.
Do you have any insecurities?
I do. I think everyone does. I think to sit and say you don't is a lie, but I think that's where you have to have that self-confidence within you and just that mindset of trying to change that perspective about yourself. Because I think it's always easy to nitpick and be like, oh, I don't like this, or I wish I could change that. But it's definitely more challenging to sit down with yourself and accept you for who you are, you know. I think just over time, I just try to tone down those voices in my head. But I think, yeah, definitely from time to time.
Are you dating anyone?
I plead the fifth. No.
Do you have a type? If so, what? Someone that they're trying to shoot their shot.
I don't have a type. My friends could let you know I really don't have a type. I would say I don't have a type look-wise, but as far as like when you approach me or talk to me, I know if you got it or no. And it's not no like rude or stuck-up thing, but it's just I'm a very observant person. And I feel like I could read a lot very fast. But not just reading people off, but just by like literally observing them, I can automatically tell like that ain't it. Or I'll be like, okay, cool. But you gotta at least be my height. That's probably like the only thing. At least be my height. Anybody shorter than me, like I gotta really, really like you. Cause I can get over a lot of stuff fast. Not get over, but like certain things, if I was to be like, okay, you know, I really don't wanna do that shorter than me. but then I end up talking to them and I do like them, I get over it. Like, it's really not that big of a deal to me. But
How tall?
I'm about 5'5", 5'6", I think. Maybe 5'7". In the inside, I feel like I'm 5'7", but every time I get on the measuring thing, it says about 5'5", 5'6". You gotta at least be 5'5". I feel like that's doable for most people. 5'5".
What are some red flags?
One, I feel like you're picky and choosy about putting effort into something. If you're in a relationship, whatever, and you just constantly can't make time or can't find a way, but you can choose to do that with other stuff. If you can always go out with your homeboys, find a way to pull up on other people. But when it comes to like small stuff with your girl, that's a red flag. Someone who's out 24/7, just on the streets, 24/7. Go home. I can't stand that. That's just not gonna work for me. Like, you have your little, everybody saying you can't have your fun, you can't go out, but it's like you're always looking for what's the move, where's, like, to be seen. I don't like that. That's a red flag for me. That may not be a red flag for other people, but for me personally, someone who's always constantly trying to be seen, someone who's friendly, that's not gonna work. If they're from Atlanta, red flag. Run for the hills. Run and never stop. Another red flag is, I just feel like if you're not in tune with your inner self. Like, I think there's a lot of people that are constantly, you know, they get around different people, they switch who they are, they don't know who they are, and it's sort of like this new person every single time. And I think that's a red flag for me, because I don't know, I just can't trust nobody like that. Trying to fit in or trying to, you know, look cool or, you know, look like they got this, that, the third. That's a red flag for me. I never respect people like that, because it just gets you nowhere.
Who's the most famous celebrity that's been in your DM?
John.
Do you want to know?
No, because when people DM me, I don't look at the DM like, oh my gosh, like, I got a DM. You got some people, male or female, if you get a DM from a certain somebody, they like to clout chasing, basically. I don't know. That's just not my style. It's just really not. So I'm not gonna say no names just because it's not really, I don't really care. I just don't get like super hyped off of like, oh, this person DM me, because shoot, I could be famous too, you know, in the future. That's another thing too. I think I never allowed it to make me feel special. I feel like if I allowed it to make me feel special, that's when someone needs to reel me back in, slap my head, and get me back to reality. Because honestly, they're about in everybody's DM. It's not really a surprise. So it just be like, okay, and I keep pushing. So.
You get into fashion?
I honestly say that, like, even now, I feel like I'm not even in the fashion element of where I know I want to be. Like, I guess some people may look at me and be like, okay, that's dope, that's, you know, this, that, the third. In my head, I'm like, I'm not even there yet. Like, this isn't even where my brain is picturing. I'm like, this is not even, you know. I've always been like experimental with my clothes. Like, if I was to put up some photos, some throwback photos of some outfits, it definitely is like, girl, what are you doing? But I think that goes to show, like, I've always kind of had that, like, interest to do whatever. You know, I didn't really care what people thought or if it was trending. I always was like, I'm gonna just do my own little thing. I think there's so many different levels of that to fashion. As soon as you think you got something down, which is good, but then there's like, it's a whole other level behind it. And it really gets so deep. But I think right now, like, I would even consider myself too much of like a fashion influencer yet, just because I know where I want to take it. And there's different levels to where I want to take it. So, yeah.
Where do you mainly shop?
Where do I shop? I mainly do online shopping, like, as far as like if I'm getting stuff, but I love thrifting. I think everyone kind of has, but I think that's always something I always done was thrifting. Like, I can remember, like, middle school, I'll get something, you know, patch it up or do some custom designs on it, or I try to rework it just a little bit. And then I just feel like you can always find some good one-on-one pieces, like, in the thrift store. Oh, another brand I do shop, DTFS. Make sure y'all go cop as well. Always some fine merch, you know, and I put that handle there. You know, Manifest?
Yeah.
Go ahead and cop. Yeah. I got so much anomaly in my closet. That's probably one thing I will say. I could be anomaly down if I wanted to. Always supply here and there. So I'll put that there too. Make sure y'all go shop. Right.
Who's your favorite artist right now?
I don't have one.
Wow. Cool.
I'm sorry. It's not because I don't like nobody. I'm that indecisive. When it comes to
your
music.
top 4?
Top 4? That's too pressure. I'm sorry.
Top 10.
I can't.
Not even a top 10?
It just depends on my mood.
Who's on your playlist currently?
Literally,
what artists on your playlist currently?
literally everybody. Rappers, but I also have my R&B, but I also have my old school music. I also have instrumental music, like, just the jazz and there's just instruments playing. I also have, I always say, like, my white folks playlist. It really just depends on what I'm in the mood for.
Describe your perfect vacation.
I think it would be somewhere like relaxing. First, so like it's fun though. It's not just relaxing where I'm not doing completely nothing, but it's a lot of things that I just never done before. It has to have a scenic vibe. Like, I'm pretty sure the vibe, it just has to be absolutely beautiful. No, it has to be good views, good vibes, and I can't be bored.
How do you balance making time for yourself, work and school?
I think recently a lot of college kids though have been expressing themselves more. Like, we're literally depressed and full of anxiety, and it's just like so many different things that you have to juggle at once. But as far as recently, I feel like I didn't have that balance because I always felt more productive when I was running around with my head cut off. Like, I always felt like if I was sitting down for too long, it's like, what are you doing? You're not doing enough. Like, if I had an off day, it's kind of like I'll be in my head so much that I'm like, I still feel like something is due or that I need to do something. And I think that kind of also plays into hustle culture. And hustle culture is definitely good in a sense of that motivating factor. But I also have to argue that it runs you completely to the ground. Like, you could be so freaking tired. And that's not to say that hard times aren't going to come. Some days you're going to have to put in more energy and hustle than others. But I think with finding that balance of like, okay, this week I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, but on these next 2 days, I'm going to allow myself to recharge. Just find whatever you feel like helps to recharge you. Allow yourself to recharge and don't feel bad about it so that you can step back in and continue what you need to do in a healthy manner. And you're still trying to, maintain your mindset. And just taking it day by day. I said, thinking too much in the future causes anxiety. Thinking too much in the past causes depression. So just try to live in the moment, live in the present, show up for what you can do for that day, and just repeat it again the next day.
What's a quote you live by, or what's a quote you like?
One I always live by, it's the marathon continues, like by Nipsey. I feel like that's just always, for one, I love Nipsey, but for two, that's just very true. Like, life always continues. It's never going to be a point in our lives where we're just like, okay, we're done. I could just wipe my hands. There's always going to be improvement in something that you can do, whether it's within yourself, whether you want it to be in your career, whether you want it to be socially. It's always something that can be done, and it's never, and I think when we change our mindset of life as looking at it as like this destination point until we feel happy or until we feel complete in life, and instead looking at it as a journey and learning to love that journey. And if you're only anticipating for that completion date, you're going to dread the whole process until you get there. And I think that's why, like I said, it's just so important to know that the marathon continues. Every day is a new day. Every day is a day for you to, get back up, start over again, put out a new energy if you need to. It's like your own little fresh start to a new page. So just looking at that and just enjoy life, enjoy the journey, and know that the marathon continues.
Maybe the famous person, dead or alive, who would it be?
I think it would be Nipsey or Dej Loaf. I think. Because Nipsey, for one, I just feel like I would have so much insight that I could learn from him. And just hearing him literally speak his mind, I feel like I would just gain so much knowledge. And I really do. I think he's just a very inspirational person that just has a viewpoint of, you know, different aspects that I could just be like, dang, you know, like, that's some dope words. And Dej Love, just because I always love Dej Love, like just her vibe, her style. She's very out the way, but I think that as a person, that she's just very down to earth, very cool, and just someone, you know, like I said, creative vibes, could just kick it. So there's so much more people who do.
Do you make music?
Who?
Do you make music?
Not yet. Got a new EP coming out. Be on the lookout. What is it named? I don't know yet. What's gonna be on there? I don't know yet. What artists are gonna be on there? I don't know yet. But it will be lit.
Did you ever get into any fights growing up?
Yeah. What, y'all?
What's your street record?
Huh?
What's your street record?
My street record? I don't need no street record. I never find myself in those situations for real, because I literally stay out the way. I'm my own person. Like, I never, for one, I don't care to be, like, I don't know, some people gravitate towards putting themselves in circles where they feel like people are like the it people, or they're more socially known, or whatever the case may be. But for me, I always been me, and I think that's led me to where I am now, because, you know, a lot of people look at me and they're like, that's just Hayyah. You know, she has her own vibe, she has her own style. Like, I don't care to impress nobody, I don't care to fit in with nobody. But by me being me, that also just attracts a lot of people, and I think they can appreciate that for me just being the genuine person that I am.
If this was your last day on earth, what would you do?
I think I would be trying to try, like, do I have superpowers?
No, it's your last day. You got access to everything. Your last day on earth.
Access to everything?
Just like funds, anything you can imagine you wanted. But
I'll buy a lot of stuff for my family and friends. Like, I just want them set. Like, I'll probably buy my mom a whole new crib, a new whip, my siblings, whatever they, you know, probably set some stuff aside. That's what I'll probably do. Put money aside so they can use it for whatever they want to use in the future. And then, honestly, for me, I would just be trying to, I feel like I'm a little dramatic. So I feel like at some point in the day, I would have to be looking out, like, at some water and just staring off into space and nodding my head like, you did good. I have to, like, I just see it in my head. I just feel like I have to do that. But honestly, I don't know. I may try to turn up. I may be trying to sleep it off. Get a good meal in. And yeah, if I had the power to teleport, I'd be hitting up a lot of different locations. That's what I would be doing. That's the last question. It's a wrap. So thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching this YouTube video. Be on the lookout for more, because there definitely will be more. I appreciate y'all, and y'all have a blessed one.